Welcome back to The Five. Well, the Republican candidates for president getting their chance to duke it out last night. At times, a fiery debate amongst all the contenders. But perhaps the most heated exchanges were brought to us by frontrunners Mitt Romney and Rick Perry. Listen to this one, started by Perry, repeating his charge that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme.
We got to be focused on how we're going to change this program. It is a monstrous lie. It is a Ponzi scheme.
You say that by any measure, Social Security is a failure. You can't say that to tens of millions of Americans who live on Social Security and those who have lived on it. It is working for millions of Americans, and I'll keep it working for millions of Americans.
Okay, some are saying that that is a preview of what's to come going forward. Monica, that night was it was pivotal, that moment. Last night, going forward, do you think Social Security is going to be the big issue that these two men are going to battle over as they hit states like Florida and others?
Well, I think Romney is certainly going to try to make as much hay out of this as possible, because Rick Perry wrote a book just last year, which he essentially, and I think truthfully, takes apart Social Security. Look, his point about it being a Ponzi scheme is correct. It was never intended or designed to be a Ponzi scheme, but the mechanics of it right now certainly are. And that's because Congresses over many, many years raided the Social Security Trust Fund, took out all the money to pay for other things, and now you've got a bunch of IOUs sitting in the Social Security Trust Fund to the tune of $2.5 trillion that they can't pay for.
Go to the SEC.gov, and they say a Ponzi scheme is an investment fraud that involves the payment of purported returns to existing investors from funds contributed by new investors. But, Eric, politically, seniors don't like to hear talk about Social Security and anything happening. So can Perry, is this really going to be his Achilles heel? I don't think it will. But.
Of course not. I mean, think about what he's done. He's right on jobs. He was right on the border. The crowd almost stood up and gave him a standing ovation on the border. He's right on the death penalty. And he makes a comment. He backs up something he said in a book he wrote, which he is right with. Social Security is a Ponzi scheme and very easily fixable. His only flaw last night, he didn't suggest how to fix it, which would be a very simple fix. Just work your way into raising the retirement age, the Social Security age from 65 to 69. I mean, people are living a heck of a lot longer. When Social Security was signed into law in 1935, life expectancy was 64 years old. So you got it the year after you exceeded life expectancy. Now it's 78 years old.
Listen, there are a couple of things that strike me about this. One is that Romney has stuck with his medical plan that he did in Massachusetts, and Perry is sticking with his Ponzi scheme idea in Social Security. I think it's probably not a bad tactic, although Romney at least comes back and has Obamacare to jump on. I think you're kidding yourself if you don't think that the Social Security is going to be an issue. Maybe not as much in the Republican primary, but certainly in the general election if Perry gets the nomination. I can tell you, having run enough Republicans off the track using Social Security in my life, this one is going to be a very tough one for him to defend. But I will say this, the two of them have staked out two very distinct positions in the Republican Party. It's going to come down to the two of them. We'll see who wins.
Bob, so I made the observation in my column today that the two of them look like the Clinton and Obama of 2012. Is there a chance that they could go possibly all the way to the end if Perry takes Iowa, Romney takes New Hampshire, Perry takes South Carolina, and on and on and on, fight to the end? It
really depends on how many states move up. You know, they do proportional representation if you go early. It's possible by the time they get out of Nevada that they'll be almost dead even because of proportional representation. But in the later states, it'll wear itself out.
Greg,
excuse me.
I want to get your thoughts on this Gingrich thought. This was the point that a lot of Republicans jumped up and down and screamed, even though his campaign seems a little bit like a joke. Let's take a listen to Newt Gingrich.
Since I still have a little time left, let me just say, I, for one, and I hope all of my friends up here, are going to repudiate every effort of the news media to get Republicans to fight each other to protect Barack Obama, who deserves to be defeated, and all of us are committed as a team. Whoever the nominee is, we are all for defeating Barack Obama.
I got to say, Gingrich was pretty surprising last night. I think he came off as the smartest person there, but he's still Newt. You know, as long as he's Newt, he's not going to win. He's not likable.
What does that mean? So he's
arrogant, professorial. For example, when he's on the stage, he treats everybody else as though they are his student.
But isn't that what they said about President Obama? They call him professorial and arrogant.
You know, Greg, nobody has ever won a presidential race by attacking the media. I mean, it's an interesting thing for that crowd. It was, you know, fresh meat out there. But the fact of the matter is, it's been tried before. It doesn't work, and particularly it doesn't work with Newt Gingrich because you've been around and had relationships with the press and not very good.
Well, but you can win a Republican primary by going after the press. But the more important message that Gingrich was getting across last night was like, guys, the media is going to try to divide and conquer us, right? They're going to try to get us to fight amongst ourselves. We have a common mission here to get the skinny socialist out of the White House.
One of the funniest tweets I saw, Eric, was someone tweeted out after he made that comment that whoever wins should make Newt Gingrich the press secretary.
You know what? Monica makes a very good point. I don't think Newt is there to try and win the Republican nomination. He's there to kind of get the party back in line. It's a two-man race right now.
It's
Perry.
So what happened to Bachmann?
It's a two-man. Well, Bachmann,
what happened to Bachmann?
I think Bachmann was the real loser last night because she didn't get much time. And I've been in a lot of presidential debates and prep people for them. I've never seen one where the concentration has been on two people when you've got that many people on the stage. The media has clearly decided that this is a race between these two people. You can say all the things that Newt said and all the things that Bachmann said. Nobody remembers any of that.
Yeah,
what are they talking about today? They're talking about Perry and they're talking about Mitt Romney.
I think the real hero of the debate, though, was this person that was sitting behind Brian Williams. Did you see her? Do we have tape?
As you know, Massachusetts
There
ranked
she
only
is. Look at
47th in job creation.
Isn't that cute? Here we go again. You know what I love about this? This was the first 5 minutes of the debate, and she was already bored.
First of all,
That's
I
not a
don't
good
want you to
sign.
say anything nasty about my cousin. That my cousin went there as a good citizen.
Cousin, you dated her.
Well,
Maybe.
No, that was a different cousin.
Oh, that's right. All right, coming up, more debate reaction on the Five next. In just 3 days, the nation will come together to remember the tragic events that look... We'll be right back. Scratch that. That's coming later. Hang on. Don't move.
Mark on us. We sure left our mark on it. We let the world know we were here with them.